Welcome back, everybody. In today's episode of Python for Scott, episode 4, I think, maybe 5, probably 4. It's been a little while. Scott and I actually caught up on the weekend, and we were talking about helping strangers on the internet, aka Stackoverflow. So I've actually just jumped on Stackoverflow. Here we are. I've scrolled through a couple of questions, and this one has really taken my fancy. So it reads, I built my first scraper to print the prices of laptops, their name, and the overall rating. So 3 things, super easy. However, the code only returns a single value of row for the products, though I used find all to find all of the A tags. It would only return a single list. Any solutions? Okay, so looking at their code, from BS4, import beautifulSoup, looking great so far. And from Eurolib, nah, I'm out. I'd use requests. So in scenarios like this, I'm not going to just tweak their code. I'm going to actually kind of just solve their problem and show them how I got to that solution, because it might actually teach them a thing or two along the way. We'll keep reading. URL error, import pandas as geek. That's weird. The empty list to store the information of the data, price, ratings. Okay, interesting approach. And this is something I used to do as well. So if you think about it, each listing on a page, we can actually navigate to the page. So, and a quick pickup I did before starting hitting the record button. If you look here, this URL is just wrong to begin with. But let's keep dissecting their code. So yeah, let's look at the page, and it looks like they've got, okay, some are ads, which is quite interesting. So they might want to know if it's an ad or not. I'm not sure, but I guess it's still got a name, a price, and a rating. So that's cool. So let's have a look. So scrolling down, seems all pretty straightforward. We're not going to give them anything extra. We're just going to get the listing, this little guy, what's that guy called? A rating and the price. And we're going to do that in a minute. So we'll keep reading. HTML, okay, I guess that's similar to requests. Not loving the formatting straight away. It's weird. LXML, I personally use HTML parser, because my understanding is XML is kind of for parsing XML. I'm not entirely sure. For A in BS, oh yeah, that's that guy. Find all, okay, so far so good. Yeah, not loving that approach. And that's one of the interesting things about beautifulSoup. There's probably like 3 or 4 a lot of different ways that you could extract data from a page. I'm not loving that one purely because it's not the one I typically use, but that's okay. Ratings doesn't, yeah, okay, I can see. Price append. So they're doing a find all and they're doing a get, and look, they've not formatted this correctly, and already it's put on hold. The question is off topic. The question is seeking debugging help. Why isn't the code working? Must include the desired behavior. Yeah, I disagree with that. Like, he kind of does state the desired behavior. Like, I actually think this is a genuine question. I just think this person might be quite new to Python, and sometimes the community be quite hard on people who aren't very, specific. So what I'm seeing here is, yeah, people are complaining a lot. So that's cool. Let's just help this person out. And let's start by requesting the page. A few different ways to do that. I'm a dirty cheat. So I actually go to Developer Tools. So F12, hit the refresh button. And then down here, you'll see once the page sort of loads, where are we? All. This is the page. And what I'm chasing here is copy as curl. And then navigate over to convert curl. So curl command to Python requests. I'll include the link in the description. It's a really cool tool. What this is actually doing, so for those who don't know, curl is a mechanism in which you can, type it into terminal in Bash or Linux and Mac and all that type of stuff. And it's going to try to download a file or request that page or whatever it might be. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. But this tool just converts it to another language, and Python's our flavor of choice. So pop that in there, and it's generated all of this. Comes with a few little warnings down the bottom. First thing I typically do is get rid of cookies. Sometimes you need them, sometimes you don't. It's probably better to start with, fresh cookies. You don't want the stale ones from my browser. Okay, so import requests, that's good. We're probably gonna need a couple of other things like they did before. So from BS4, import, beautifulSoup, which is that one there. Got our headers. We've got a page parameter, which is good, page 1. It's got the website and everything looks pretty fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. And then I'm going to go have a look at the response. And what this will return is the response code. So 200s are good, 300s are redirects, and 400s are bad, 500s are fatal, which is bad. So the text of that is the HTML. And looking at the page, I'm kind of looking for stuff that appears. So there's lots of words like Asus and Lenovo. So let's just see if the word Asus appears on here to make sure I've got the right page. And the reason I do that is so often you'll get a bunch of HTML back. You'll think it's all good. And then not until later you dig down deeper and it's like, oh, error, you've been, I'm not a roboted, or it's just, you're a bot, stop hitting my page. Cool. So now that we have the response, we can see the text. We create a variable called whatever you want to call it. I call it soup because everyone kind of does and it's cool. But that's just going to be beautiful soup, and it's going to be your response text and your HTML parser. So HTML parser is just one of the options you can use, and it's useful because it's fairly good at parsing fairly well-structured HTML. Beautiful Soup does fall apart if the HTML isn't a well-structured document, because it does have sort of trees and ways to navigate. But this looks like it's worked just fine as far as I can tell so far. If we do a quick soup, it looks like, yeah, it's loaded all in there nicely. Cool. Now, to get those items, it shouldn't be too hard. My approach is actually a little bit different to how the original person on Stack Overflow did theirs. It looked like they were attempting to get all of the titles, then all of the prices, and then all of the ratings, and then sort of bring them all together as one. I do it a little bit differently. I try to get all of the blocks that contain all of those three things. So how I do that is I do an inspect, and down the bottom here you can sort of highlight your mouse, and you can sort of see how it's, yep, there we go. So we got a div data, blah, 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 blah. Div class looks pretty good, and it's a class of this one. So what we'll do is we'll take that div class and we'll write a nice little find all, which is super easy. So that's just going to be real easy. I'm going to call it main box. And the reason I'm going to call it main box is because it's kind of like the main box that contains everything in my mind, and that's how I think about it. So it's main box equals soup.findAll div class, and it's the class we found earlier. So I can run that, and I think there was 24 items per page, and I can just see if it's got all of the boxes and nothing more, nothing less. By looking up the length of the main box, 24 looks very nice. So now that we've kind of got all the main boxes, we want to find stuff inside the boxes. So to do that, we are going to go ahead and inspect things like, this, what have we got here? Div class, got a funky name again, and it's got our title in there. So that's really easy again. So so what we'll do is how will we do this? Let's call something box, and what we'll do is for this testing purposes for now, we'll give it a level 0, and all box now is one of those 24 items, and there's a bit of text in there. And then so from there you want to find, and I'm not going to use find all because I only want to find the very first one. There might be multiple of the same class, but I'm fairly confident it's the first one. So I'm just going to find, and it's a div. And you know what? It's got a class, and its class was that weird one. Cool. Now that's not going to work because that's not right. Boom. Cool. And we're going to do text because that's going to give us the text. And then in this example, it's not a problem, but just for future proof and just make sure it isn't going to strip the white space from either side. The other things we want to grab are the price and the rating, okay, and I'm really weird, I like to line things up, and they're going to be probably the same sort of format. They're all going to be in classes, and we'll just confirm that. So inspect, what do you got? Div class looks good, and inspect div class looks good. So what we're going to do now is, to simplify our lives, we're just going to copy and paste this one a few times, and let's just do that. And we're just going to quickly grab those classes, aren't we? So we're just going to go ahead and go, yep, what's the title? We've got that one already, don't we? Silly. Okay, what is the, this guy, which was the rating, which is that one. Nice, the price. Rating. And finally, what is the price? So inspect element. And that one there is an interesting one. It's quite long. That's fine. Now, how do we know that actually worked? So we'll run that. And for now, we'll just say, hey, let's print the title and the price and the rating of the first item. Okay, cool. There it is. And where are we? That is weird. Oh, no, that's probably the price. Oh, no, is that the price? That's not working for me. So start again. Title. Okay, it's got that in there, but I think that might be the symbol for something. That's okay. What's the price? Oh, no. I didn't update the I was going too fast. Okay, so, and the price is, where are we? Inspect element. Oh, apparently it's a big long one, which I didn't put in there, but I did for the rating. Okay, got them mixed up. That's cool. Rating. Yeah, it's rating there. Cool. All right, so yeah, don't rush it. Just take your time. Go slow. Don't rush. Now, chart. Okay, I don't love this symbol. I think it's going to cause me issues later, so I'm just going to do a really quick and dirty replace on that, if it will allow me. Yeah, cool. Just because I just have issues with encoding and all sorts of stuff. So let's replace, blah 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 blah. Let's just make sure that, yeah, okay, that's cool. What's it saying? Non-object is not callable. Okay, you know why? Because we are doing the replace before the text. So we'll try and do a replace on an item of a type that wasn't a string, and I can show you that quickly. So if I look at this one, you notice this have a div class, and it looks like a string, but if you go ahead and do type on that, it's actually a BS4 element tag. So it's actually a different class altogether. So just be wary of that. That's cool. Strip replace, that looks really good. Yeah, rating looks really good. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is we'll get rid of that for now, and we'll start writing our main loop. So for box in main box, cool. We're going to have these things sort of generate. Now, there's a few different ways you can go about doing this. Ultimately, what we want to create is a dictionary for each. So I'm going to pretty much say, you know, call it temp dictionary. And at the very start of the loop, that's going to equal nothing. It's just going to be empty. And then what's going to happen is, as that loop progresses, it is going to assign, actually, yeah, equals is right, each of these. So let's go ahead and do that. So temp dictionary title, that's the key that's creating for that temp dictionary, is equal to, and we're doing the box fine. Now, obviously, there's multiple ways we can do it. We can also do that as, you know, temp underscore dictionary is equal to, and then we can go ahead and input our things like title, and then have, you know, this guy here. There's no real right or wrong. There probably is. I actually don't know, but I've just started doing it this way, and it just feels, I don't know, it feels a little nicer. Put it that way. So let's go ahead and just replace price and rating. Price and rating. Now you're probably wondering, hey Adam, at the start of this loop, you're creating an empty dictionary, you're filling it, and then you're looping again, which will create an empty dictionary and fill it. So we're going to have to store this one dictionary, each loop in a thing. So we'll call this the maybe like the data list or something cool like that. So data list is empty before the loop, and what we'll say is by the end of the loop, when we've appended all of our bits and pieces to it, so temp dictionary is getting appended to each. Now you look at the data list and it is full, which is really, really nice. Cool. Obviously you could put that into pandas. So, you know, quick df could be equal to pd.dataframe, which would be this data list here. And if you view that data frame, you've got a very nice structured list, and you can export that to Excel and have some real fun with it. Now, you're probably wondering, Adam, that's cool, but that's only going to get items for one page. How do I go ahead and get them for lots of pages?